I think it missed. A lot more of a cavity in the watermelon. So when there was a little bit of pressure built up, I'll turn off the furnace, I'll take the crucible out, which is about what I thought. Mostly I was just kind of hoping, and carve a sort of funnel shape into the opening. We got some interesting cast shapes out of our salt, that's for sure. And then, just gonna cut the top out. Oh, that just also has a hole that it was able to just let all of that suddenly forming steam escape out the top. I've never seen air. It sounded like an explosion, and some of our juice definitely, but it's not solid pulp all the way through like a watermelon. Hopefully that'll really fill it up with salt. And if we're lucky, we'll see an exploding water. Thanks for watching. If you're not a subscriber yet, just hit the bomb to get in the club. Juice or salt. We definitely got salt inside it, right down into the heart. Pretty great. Then a cantaloupe. Of course, a cantaloupe is a lot more hollow on the inside already. That's kind of cool. Look at that. Just whichever one was launching up into the air, it worked pretty well. I think the watermelon definitely gave us the best. To be able to pour salt into our watermelon, it was already breaking open. You can see why it's still smelled burning cantaloupe before. Well, I've got one. There's the rest of our watermelon. That just tore it. Put it into the steel cup, and then I'll back away a safe distance, pull the string, but it is pouring salt into some fruit juice. I'm trying to be safe and see it in the juice container, largely untouched. There's half of our watermelon, and the thing exploded open. It looked pretty great. Pouring it into the cantaloupe, we got a lot of steam out of it, but there's a lot of seeds in there. Let's try the same thing with the cantaloupe. Oh, experiment left, and it's a 1/4-inch spade bit. I'm gonna drill a hole about halfway in, pour out the extra that hot, glowing orange. Salty juice. Ready, now we're gonna do the same part of our tiny little watermelon. Now, salt right down into the hole. I'm also gonna use a little knife, directing our salt in no time at all. Turns out watermelons, well, there's same thing. Salt will go. Not technically pouring salt into a fruit. We didn't explode, and I think that's because the cantaloupe has a The salt is nice and molten, so here's the plan. Formation. Exploded immediately. Immediately. I think because there was a hollow in the center, it didn't have enough pressure to really tear anything open. I'm curious if it's sorrow. Filled in some of the gap with some toasty salt. Up in the watermelon, it had nowhere to go. Into the juice. And I'm hoping for like a geyser of juice or something. Wide open. Back of the cantaloupe. With molten salt, we're going to try pouring it into a watermelon, a cantaloupe, and then just to make it just a little bit easier to aim the poured off. I think it actually hit the cantaloupe and spill. Pouring the liquid salt into the juice didn't really give us any sort of rupture. A lot more empty space inside it than a watermelon. I mean, it's steaming clearly. 3, 2, 1. Top. Click down there if you want to see what the internet thinks that you should watch next. That's it for now. Have fun. Go in the pouring device. We'll secure it in place. We'll pull the string, and maybe we'll get an exploding cantaloupe. Hey guys, I'm Nate. We are back at the Dome, and once again, we want to try an experiment. Not all of it, but a lot of it. That's pretty fun right there. So for a fountain of juice to launch up, and I think we got that pretty well. That is weird. A lot of the salt made it in there. See some of the salt stirring effect, but we did get kind of a nice spray of salt in the. I've got a 1 1/4, and hopefully all that salt will be poured right down into our watermelon. Let's give it a shot. When it went flying, I think everything is covered in juice right now. Off of this container and see if I can get molten salt to fall down. If you missed our last video or want to see it again, click up here. We did get a good amount of salt that went right into the cantaloupe, just like we wanted it to. 3, 2, 1. All right, our cantaloupe should have the salt pour out nicely down into the yeah. Hey guys. Fast results as soon don't get along very well with molten salt. Who knew? Yep. And there's our steel cut. And so it just exploded, but the cantaloupe had enough space in it. And boy, that was great. Up with some still glowing orange molten salt at the bottom of it. All right, with our watermelon raised up right here, I think we have to crack this thing open and see what it's doing in there. 2, 1. Bottle of fruit juice like that. All right, that should do a pretty good job of as that liquid salt hit the inside of the watermelon. Super hot crucible, filled off the back onto the wood here. Yep, we had some salt running down the back. I think just the second that the salt hit channel that our salt can land in. Juice, and then we should have a nice little